Hi, I am Abacha Jarawa. Today's GIS multi-temporal remote sensing analysis will be featuring the Maiduguri 10th of September 2024 flood disaster. From the satellite image we acquired on the thematic exploration platform, we developed a model to calculate the total number of houses in Maiduguri. This analysis revealed that there are over 1.1 million households within the Maiduguri metropolis. September usually marks the end of rainy season in Maiduguri, but this year, Maiduguri and water catchment area around received more than their annual rainfall in less than 10 days. The downpour eventually and dramatically culminated in the flood event of September 2024. Thousands of people have been evacuated. Infrastructure, agricultural field, and livelihood had been destroyed. Reptiles and other wild animals were washed out from the zoo. Inmates escaped correctional facilities. Tragically, the event also claimed over thousands of lives and displaced millions from their homes. Time and accurate information on such flood event is crucial when human life and infrastructure were at risk. Stay tuned for comprehensive GIS analysis of the Maiduguri September 2024 flood event. This GIS analysis features latest satellite imageries. This spectacular natural color satellite image, captured on 12th of September 2024, reveals the aftermath of southern dike collapse at Lake Alo, which occurred on the 10th of September 2024 at the Ngadaya Sojiri axis, villages east of Kayamla. The image, captured using advanced optical instrument and technique that can penetrate the habitual dense cloud cover during day or night, and image Earth in 13 spectral bands. The image shows a distinct sediment plume emanating into the lake in shades of tough brown colors, contrasting with the Spanish olive green colors of the lake. This plume, visible from space, indicates that the dike's collapse triggered the devastating flood in Maiduguri. To understand the causes of the catastrophic flood event, it's essential to examine the lake's unique characteristics and the events and human activities that lead up to the collapse. Alo Lake spans approximately 25 square kilometers. Its primary water sources are the Yazzaram and Gada River, which make confluence at the Gambole Channel before emptying into the lake. Yazzaram River originates in the Mandara Mountains, southeast of Michika and east of Mubi, flowing northward through several towns and clusters of villages, namely from Michika, Shua, Inagu, Bituku, Izge, and Yemteki, before joining the Gambole Channel. It also has other tributary that passes through Mubi and then the Yaza village, in which the river is named after. Nengada River, stemming from few kilometers north of Kautikare village in Chibok local government, flows further northward through Mulgwe, Mayarma, Lukshe, and Gambole Pond before merging with Yazzaram at the Gambole corridor. These two rivers are the main tributaries feeding Alo Lake. Additionally, two narrow streams originating from a diverse wetland south of Lake Alo were identified. This wetland, situated within the Sambisa forest, boasts with rich biodiversity, featuring patches of ponds, marshes, rare and threatened species of deer, wild pigs, wildebeest, snake, and over 150 species of birds and butterflies. Over 40 species of phytoplankton algae, with the most dominant species being Chlorophyceae. Phytoplankton are the autotrophic self-feeding component of the plankton community and a key part of ocean freshwater ecosystem and an important actor in the global carbon cycle. Notable nearby locations include Kayamla, Sojiri, Ngadaya, Bariki, and Gambole Cattle Ranch. Alo Dam is reinforced by 3 protective dikes, shown here: dike number 1, dike number 2, and dike number 3. These water retention barriers hold back the dam's water, regulate the inflow of turbid rivers and streams, specifically from Barakadram River, originated from the wetland south of the lake. However, at Gambole village, southwest of Kauri town, a village led by the infamous Bulamakwada, lies a critical control valve regulating Alo Lake's water inflow. This valve manages the lake's total water inflow. A 2013 satellite image shows herders crossing a concrete bridge above the valves. Normally, when the valves are closed, the valve diverts the Yezaram River. However, a 2022 image reveals a tragic development. The control valves are broken and damaged. The concrete structure housing them has collapsed. This failure allows uncontrolled water inflow into the lake, contributing significantly to the devastating Maiduguri flood event. Lake Alo has discharge units with 8 motorized floodgates or valves, which discharge the lake into the Ngada-Kura River. The Ngada-Kura River is straddled by the city of Maiduguri, and major source of drinking water to millions of the city's inhabitants. After September 1994 flood disaster, the authorities directly in charge of the lake's management, Chad Basin Development Authority, constructed a new 60-meter chute spillway with oggy curve sloping. The spillway, straddled by 2 70-meter dikes, owing to the fact that the 8 discharge floodgates are not sufficient enough to drain the lake in times of extreme weather event, sudden rise in river level leading to high inflow, or unpredicted emergencies or system failure. This infrastructure upgrade aims to mitigate flood risks and ensure the lake's safe management. The spillway is ingrained with 2 lines of 60 cubes shaped stone gabion baffles, which create a hydraulic jump protecting the toe of the dam from erosion. Social media platforms have shared historical satellite images of Google Earth showing structural damage to Alo Lake's spillway. However, we clarify that the damage is external, affecting the platform holding gabion stone baffles immediately after the oggy sloping. This damage did not cause the 10th September flood event, but it poses a risk and could cause problems and cannot be discarded or left unattended to. Immediate repair is necessary for the spillway collapse section. However, it was not the root cause of the flooding event of 10th September, and the spillway core structure remained unchanged after the flood incident. We urge the public to understand this distinction and avoid misinformation. During the 1980s, World Bank assisted construction of Lake Alo. Excess soil was used to build the dikes, which were reinforced with geotextiles and stone pitch to withstand extreme weather and erosion. However, villagers vandalized the dike and removed most of the geotextile, compromising the dike's structural integrity. The dike was designed to hold back lake water and as a barrier and also prevent the Barakadram Ruambanza stream from accessing the lake. Yet, excavation activities left behind pits which were filled by Barakadram stream, also referred to as Ruambanza. Over time, fish and algae from nearby wetland become dominant in the pits. Initially, fishermen settled near the Ngadaya village, utilizing these pits as fishing dam, but due to insurgency, they relocated to Lojiri 8 kilometers north. Consequently, fishermen and charbonniers travel 8 kilometers from Logiri and cross the dike. However, crossing the dike on foot, leaving behind their boats, makes their work difficult and more laborious. So they illegally collapse section of the dike to facilitate boat passage. This human activity allows streams to flow into the lake beyond its holding capacity. Satellite imagery reveal multiple sections of the broken dike exacerbated by the devastating flood event of 10th of September 2024. In summary, the fishermen and charcoal makers broke the dike. They collapsed the dike to ease and create passage for their boats to facilitate their fishing and charcoal making activities. This stunning natural color image captured between 10th and 12th of September 2024 reveals the powerful Baraka drum stream surging into the lake through the opening the fishermen created on the southern dike. The stream has impressively divided the lake into two, breached the dike along the spillway, and is now advancing forcefully towards Maiduguri and beyond. Notably, the image highlights the striking contrast in colors between the waters of Ruambanza and Lake Alu. Ruambanza appears in shades of tough brown color, while the Alo Lake waters appears in Spanish olive green. The tough brown colors of the intruding river is possibly due to absorption of pigments from dying marshes, grass, and leaf foliage from the downstream wetland, and also due to high nutrient content, and sediments like clay and silt exacerbating the turbidity of the water. Compare the image captured on 9th of September and 10th of September. Here is floodgates and spillway. The Barakadram River force caused a 70-meter section of the reinforced dike to collapse, resulting in widening of the river upstream and a 7-meter surge in level as it continues its trajectory toward Maiduguri and beyond. Compare the images which resulted from the combination of multiple polarization of the Copernicus satellite 2A. The image is captured on the 9th of September 2024 and 12th of September 2024. The images were processed in a way that the image on the 9th of September appears brighter in the acquisition owing to the high reflection from the shortwave infrared signal of the optical instrument. The river width, which is normally 35 to 60 meters in dry season, has now expanded to staggering 464 meters in width before reaching Maiduguri. Between 9th and 12th September, the width of the river expanded by additional 67 meters and surged in level to additional 4 meters. It is, however, evident that a 400-meter width river flowing northward to Maiduguri shrunk to less than 100 meters straddled by structures could be disastrous and will result in flooding in terms of extreme weather event that brings more rainstorms. The Maiduguri city houses and build-up structures distribution extend to 188 square kilometers in total area. In this stunning processed satellite image, the city and build-up structures are visible in shades of mauve color. The University of Maiduguri is easily identifiable. The colors comes from combination of 13 spectral bands of satellite data, which has been converted to a single image by using software technology that align the infrared beam sent and received by the optical instrument, either vertically or horizontally. The resulting data can be processed in a way that can produce colored images such as the one featured here. Water bodies and completely inundated areas appeared in shades of dark blue colors. The extent of the flooding are also further semi-classified in palettes of red colors. Satellites are taking the pulse of our planet, and Earth observation plays a major role in building a sustainable future and resilient society to monitor coastal waters, inland waterways, lake biology, and water quality. It is also a valuable resource when damage assessment is needed. This multi-temporal satellite image is processed by selecting geospatial spectral bands that can be used to classify urban features. The flood event took over a total of 73.75 square kilometers of the metropolis of Maiduguri, encompasses some parts of Jere, Kondega, and Mafa, but the total Yerwa area is about 188 square kilometers. So the flood took over almost 73.75 square kilometers of the area. But considering factor of human settlement, where there are built-up structures and houses, about 56.04 square kilometers of the areas that is being occupied by human settlement has been inundated in flood. So the flood event took over a total of 73.75 square kilometers of the metropolis of Maiduguri and 56.04 square kilometers of human settlement and structures, which is equivalent to 56,040,000 square kilometers. That's approximately 40% area of the city been flooded. Almost 40% of Maiduguri is flooded. Household assessment. We deducted 24.33% for roads and walkways, resulting in 42,405,468 square meters of built-up areas being affected. So the 24.33% was derived from calculating average of different population densities and road networks. From the analysis, we studied settlement patterns and discovered that the areas flooded, for example, Gwengi, Kachallari, Shauri, Galtimari, etc., have average population density of 148 square meters per household. Most of the areas that are the most densely populated parts of Maiduguri city. So, however, 42,405,468 square meters divided by 148 square meters of the average household will result in total of 286,523 households being affected. So by multiplying the total number of households by the average density population of that particular regions, that's 7, it will result in about 2,005,661 houses being flooded. 2,005,661 individuals are displaced. Farm assessment. Around Lake Alo and nearby farms at Farm Center and Kachallari village, about 6,800 hectares of farmland were destroyed, in which cultivated farms is 5,500 hectares out of the 6,800. Cleared but uncultivated farms are approximately 1,300 hectares. This gave us within the range of the Alo Lake area, extending to Maiduguri and some parts of Jere, about 5,500 hectares of farmland were destroyed. This data is not for the entire state or the entire of Jere farms. This is for within the reach of Maiduguri boundaries. If you want information on total farms destroyed within Borno state, we can give you full information and classification of type of crops based on variability of leaf area index. Pollution and sediment assessment. Some 2,894,400 cubic meters of composite clay sediment, equivalent to about 5 billion kg, was randomly deposited into the city of Maiduguri. The clay sediment has a density of about 1,730 kg per cubic meters. This data is driven from taking the total area inundated by flood in square meters and then multiplying the area by an average of 53.667 millimeter average thickness of the muddy sediment deposited randomly in the city. In some critical areas, we found sediment of almost 1 meter thickness, but based on our own analysis, we took the average data across the set and it resulted in 53.66 millimeters thickness. So for the cost of the total cost of our damage, so for farms is X dollar multiplied by the square meters. And for the households resettlement, the total number of houses affected about 276,298 times Y dollars. Satellite data will support policy makers, societies, businesses, and communities to adapt and mitigate to changing climate and foster resilience in support of the mechanism enshrined in the UNFCCC Paris Agreement and Santiago Network of Loss and Damages. Your Excellencies, Majesties, and Royal Highnesses, ladies and gentlemen, from the vantage point of space, satellites can provide essential information to monitor the changes in land cover, inland waterways, agriculture, crops health, coastal water, ocean and lake biology, and ultimately security monitoring, which is typical in remote and insecure regions, and it is difficult to monitor such an event systematically from ground. For such a large acquisition areas, for example, changes in flow of inland waterways can bring serious consequences to the general public. Satellite telemetry and altimetry measurement can be very vital to guarantee civil safety, and government can use the data to create and activate charter of early warning systems in extreme weather events. Consequently, millions of people living in low-lying elevation will not be threatened by the risks of permanent inundation. MTGI-1 first of new generation satellites provide crucial insights for the early detection and prediction of severe storm events, weather forecasting and climate change monitoring, and rapidly evolving meteorological phenomena. Chapter 6. Mitigative plans to avoid future occurrences of the flood. This chapter is restricted and not for public consumption. Sorry for that. Thank you. Then Chapter 7. Shrinkage of Lake Alo. After the collapse of the dike and the consequent draining of the lake, significant changes was noticed. The lake lost more than half of its volume in the event. Compare images captured on the 12th and then 19th of September 2024. The water drained and shrunken from brim to bottom. The water draws back, leaving the dike barrier with about 200 meters in less than 6 days. The satellite sensor captured in the channel and combination of NDVI, Normalized Differential Vegetation Index, which is used oftenly to monitor drought, monitor and predict agricultural production and yield, chlorophyll absorption in red bands, and relatively high reflectance of vegetation in near-infrared band are used for this calculation. Sediment at the floor of Lake Alo are visible in this image. From this evidence, we are certain that the lake loses more than half of its volume. Thank you. In conclusion, I would like to extend my condolences to the families and loved ones affected by the devastating flood in Maiduguri and the surrounding areas. We extend our deepest condolences to those who have lost loved ones, homes, and livelihood in this tragedy. Our hearts go out to you in this time of unimaginable grief and hardship. May the memories of the departed be a blessing to you, and may you find strength in the face of this adversity. We want to thank the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria for all the federal government supports. We also want to thank the Vice President and his wife for all the support they rendered during this tragic event. We also want to express our profound gratitude to the Executive Governor of Borno State and the Nigerian Army for their selfless and tireless effort in rescuing those stranded and providing critical support to the affected communities. Your bravery, compassion, and dedication are a beacon of hope in these challenging times. We also want to exclusively send our word of thanks to all the businessmen and philanthropists and politicians who gave financial assistance to the victims of this catastrophic incident. To those who have been displaced or affected, please know that you are not alone. We stand with you and will continue to support you through this difficult period. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comfort and protect you, and may Borno emerge stronger and more resilient in the face of disaster. Thank you very much. Sincerely yours, Engineer Abacha Ali Jarawa.